Hello, everybody, and welcome to the More Than Fantasy Football League podcast. I'm your host, the Imperial Gods. But before we get started, I need you to like, subscribe, and enjoy. Thank you. Hey, what up? What up? How's everybody doing today? It's your boy, the Imperial Gods, and I am back for another one. Today, I'm excited because we get to talk about everybody's favorite position. And no, not the position you're thinking about. The running back position. The running back position, the most important position in fantasy football. This is the position that makes or breaks you. These are the players that separate you from a good team to a great team. They give you that advantage that you need on the field. Now let me tell you why it's so pivotal and so coveted, these running backs. Why it's so coveted? Because there is a high drop-off from the elite running backs to the mid running backs to the dud running back. A high drop-off. When you get an elite running back, his production is constant. It's consistent. To find that in fantasy football is worth gold. Now, can you overcome it? Can you build a team with mediocre running backs and win a championship? It has been done by multiple people. This is PPR, folks. So yes, wide receivers can be just as important, but there's a lot more wide receivers getting the ball and scoring points than elite running back. Now, today we're going to talk about ESPN's top 10 running backs and what do they think. You know, it's a couple different people. They get their vote and, you know, they say who they believe is going to be one through however many people. But we're only going to talk about the top 10 and see if these guys know what they're talking about, you know, because they're not the Imperial. I'm the Imperial. So I might not agree with these guys. You know, you may not agree with me. But if you're here and you're listening, you're trying to figure out something, you're trying to figure out, you know, a different way of thinking about fantasy football, and maybe I can show you some perspectives into these players, and then you can make your own decisions for yourself. You know? Well, I thank you for coming out today. Let's get right to it. Let's talk about these running backs, the most important position in fantasy football. Yes, it is. Now, the number 10 for ESPN is a guy called Chase Brown. You ever heard of him? A guy called Chase Brown. This guy, Chase Brown, he plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati. Now, Chase is number 10, as you can see. He's got a couple, you know, teenage votes or preteen votes, but he is their number 10 guy overall with the votes. That's what he got. Now, there's pros and cons to Chase Brown. And there's a lot more pros than there are cons, you know. I wouldn't call him an elite running back, but I would call him consistent. I will call him consistent. I would definitely call him consistent. I have no problem saying that he will be there for you week in, week out. I believe that. Why do I believe that? Because Chase Brown last year in More Than Fantasy, he put up 1,019 yards on 232 carries. He averaged 4.4 yards a carry. He has 6 touchdowns. That's 69 receptions and 437 yards with 5 TDs in the air. So he did that with a Joe Burrow non-existent for a lot of the season. He gave you 1,000 yards last year, averaging 4 a carry. That's called consistency. That's called a mid running back, and that's your 10th running back. He's mid. You're gonna like to have him as an RB2. If he's your RB2, you did well. Your RB1, you better have some great wide receivers, and that's just real. That's how I feel about that. Because, I mean, honestly, what are we doing? Are we just picking? Well, he gets receptions, he gets carries, but is he a banger? How many times is he going to put up the points you need him to put up to win a game? Is he going to be a game changer at number 10? I say he's a good RB2. Great to have as your second RB. If you got to get him late if you're the 10th pick, he's probably going to be in the second round, maybe the third. You could probably get him early third, latest. But I anticipate that all these running backs are gone by early third. The top 10 running backs are gone by early third. There's going to be at least 6 wide receivers that sneak in there and 2 to 3 quarterbacks. Maybe a tight end might sneak in the top 2. I don't know. Some people might sneak in a tight end. It can happen. There are some tight ends who put up crazy wide receiver numbers. This is PPR, and only points matter. A lot of people like to go after points in the beginning. The guys who score the most points. These are guys who are feasting, getting the ball. They're getting their number called a lot of times each game. Plays are made for them to succeed because of their talent. Those are the guys you want. A lot of people build around those kind of guys. So you're going to sneak in some quality running backs while other guys are going for the points. Now you're trying to create depth in your lineup. Creating depth in your lineup is a strategic way of making sure that if injuries come about, you have somebody to replace that person with in week to week, in and out. You want to do that. You want to replace those guys. You want to have depth. It's a strategic way of drafting people. But let's move on. Let's go with number 9. Let's move up. We're talking about one guy and one guy only. Last year's Madden cover guy, the most electric guy probably on his raw talent on this list of top 10. Saquon Barkley is the most talented up here, bar none. He's probably, might not be the fastest because you got Gibbs and those guys up there. But, strength, speed, elusiveness. He has every gear you want if he's hitting on all cylinders. Let me tell you, Saquon Barkley has an elite line if they're playing together. These are the positives of Saquon Barkley. He has that elite line. He has a line that is going to get him 100 yards a game if they're playing together and on the same page. This is possible. We seen it 2 years ago. Last year, the Eagles were in disarray. And I look at Saquon's career. It's always been an on and off season for me. I've always seen him have a down year. He gets injured. A good year after that where he comes back and everybody's like, whoa. And then a down year. Then is he really worth it? Then he has a great year the year before last. It's like on and off. So I can see him going back to his old ways. His biggest negative is his quarterback because his quarterback takes his goal line carries. The tush push it drives me insane. It drives me insane. What are you paying this guy for? Why does he get the money? He's one of the top paid running backs in the league. And why does he get this money? If you're not going to give him the ball at the 1 yard line, instead you put that much pressure on your line, creating injuries at the bottom of a pile where eventually they're going to start refereeing this thing much better. You guys jumped the gun maybe 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 times last year on false starts, and it was referee horrible. This year, they're not making those mistakes. I promise you, they're going to be looking for it. There's going to be camera work on it. You're going to get called every time. Might as well get a ball to Saquon Barkley. You might as well. I would. Saquon Barkley last year, nothing. In an off year, a very off year, he had 280 carries for 1140. He was 1,100 yard back. 4.1 a carry. That could have been much better. But he had 7 TDs. Now this is what I expect. They need to up this. They really do. He needed 37 catches is not enough for Saquon Barkley. especially with A.J. Brown gone now. They need to be tossing him the ball, short dink dunks. I see him doing better than 43, which they haven't projected for next year. I see him comfortably somewhere around 50 catches. Easy. His projection, a little different. You know, they got him at 43 for 371 in the air with 2 TDs. But we can do better than that, especially with the main guy gone, A.J. Brown. The offense has to change, people. But the quarterback has to do better. I believe he does better this year. Saquon does better. This is his on year. His off year, he had 1,100 yards. But he's the ninth guy here, and he's probably the most talented, the most powerful guy on here. I mean, he's probably the best raw football player on here at number 9. If he has a season be like he had before, he could be number 1, but the tush push does kill him. There are issues with not getting that ball. He's got to break for an insane amount of touchdowns to get yards. Like, he needs 50-yard breaks, 40-yard breaks, 30-yard breaks, and he can do that consistently if the line blocks the way I know they can. But anyway, let's move on up. Talk about the next guy on the list, Omarion Hampton. Some people want to ask, why is Omarion Hampton on here? What has he shown us previously that he deserves to be in the top 10 on ESPN for next year? Well, Omarion Hampton, who plays for the Chargers, you know, he had a decent year last year. He had 4 carries with 545 yards. He had injury shortened his season. So they're looking at him to bounce back this year after an injury to be great. Now, he averaged 15.1 fantasy points a game last year and ranked 3rd amongst running backs in the tackle rate with Vidal and Mitchell was his only competition last year. So he really didn't have anybody back there that really was going to take carries away from him. So this year, if he comes back healthy, he starts showing what he was doing last year. I mean, he could probably potentially stay where he is. I think that's a good assessment. Harbaugh runs the ball. What more can I say about that? He runs the ball. He does. He's going to run the ball. He's going to get his opportunities. This guy is who he is, you know. He is who he is. And we're going to find out if he could do it again this season. He had some bright spots last season, and he's if you can get him as your RB2, I think you're doing a good job. If he's your RB1, your wide receivers got to be crazy. I don't think he's a bell cow, and the injury's already shown that he can't last the whole season. So, barring injury, I say that's a good spot, but with injury, it's an error. You know, he's already shown he got hurt, so we'll see. Let's move on to the next guy. And I'm excited about this guy. I'm going to tell you why. I'm excited about him. Only because this guy, Ashton Denty, he has a quarterback now. He's the first overall pick. I believe he's older. He's going to be steady in there. And I think this year he's not going to be focused. He's not going to, I mean, when we look at Ashton Denty, you know, he had a great year for a rookie running back. Now, expectations for him were very high because of where he was drafted. But his team sucked. Brock Bowers was out like all year. His quarterback play was in garbage. No, he did not crack 1,000 yards. He was 25 yards short. He had 266 with 975 with 3.7 a carry with 5 tutties. Now, he caught 55 passes for 346 yards, 5 TDs. This is a horrible quarterback play. His average, he put up 13.3 points a game last year on average. On average. Why are we talking about Ashton Genty being in the top 10 after only putting up 975 last year? Because it was a rookie year and he did show bright spots. You just wanted more for where he was drafted. This year, he increases. They got him going for 281, 1136 with 4 yards per carry, which I think it'll be more. 7 TDs, 65 catches. After doing 55 with those quarterbacks, Tim Moore is, he could do more than that. Give me 15. I want him to do 70 catches. I want to see him crack 500 plus yards, 600 plus yards in the air, and put up another 5-6 TDs in the air. He didn't have 1,000 yards on the ground, but he had 1,200 all-purpose yards. He was very, 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 very productive. We just wanted more from where he was drafted as a high pick. And I get it. Expectations are what you make them. They are. I believe that this guy, Ashton Genty, is going to come out the woodwork this year and be one of those fantasy stars. If you catch him as your RB1, RB2, he's probably going to do you justice either way. He's going to get better. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He heard you guys talking last year. As a rookie, he put up 1,200 all-purpose yards, almost 1,300. Come on, man. Get a boy a chance. Give him a chance. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. I believe in him. I think he moves up. I think that's a good spot for him, sitting at number 7. Yeah, Ashton Genty, I believe in you, bro. Don't let him hate on you. All right, next we got your boy, James Cook, the good old Buffalo Bill, brother of Dalvin. You know what? If he wasn't for the Bills, I think they move very similar. I love the way they play. I think James Cook has been underrated each year in the draft for fantasy football since he's been an elite player. Pretty much. He's progressed every year and gotten better every year. He has. James Cook sitting at number 6 with this fantasy ESPN review is probably wrong. It's probably wrong. We got guys, the top 5 guys above him. I understand the logic where they sit with each guy. You know what I mean? I understand the logic. But James Cook has outdone their logic every year. And who's to say that his ADP is not going to be wrong this year? We're always wrong about this guy. He's been one of the best backs in fantasy. He puts up consistent numbers. He's elite out there on the field. He does everything you want to do for a banger. Like, he's RB1 material, if I've ever seen one. So if he's your RB2, you are doing well. But he's RB1 material. And I would say, guys, like, this is where we start, where you get the bangers. At number 6, you know what I mean? Number 6, this is where this guy, he can put up 40. He can put up 30. And that's what we call a banger, because he going to do it for you. He going to do it for you every week in, week out. You know, I believe in James Cook. And let me tell you something about running backs. They can't always just be good. A running back is good, and it's based on other factors. There's people on here that have mediocre lines. If your offensive line is bad, you're not going to do that well as a running back. You're not going to do that well. You know, if your offensive line is bad and you're having to play, shake them up in the backfield, as soon as you touch the ball, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, there's nothing anybody can do. Barry Sanders is getting caught 6 to 7 out of 9 times out of 10. If he has to start in the backfield 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's one thing. That's one variable. The second thing is quarterback. And I bring this up only because we're talking about James Cook. Josh Allen is his quarterback. They're scared to death of Josh Allen running the ball. If they're scared of him running the ball, every time they give it to James Cook, there's never 8 in the box. They're scared of him throwing the ball. They complement each other. When you compliment your quarterback the way James Cook compliments Josh Allen, things work out in your favor. They complement each other very well. I believe in the way they work together. It's a beautiful ballet to watch him get the ball, run side. He's one of those guys who makes the right cut and just, he fits in the small, skinny spaces to get through the hole and around defenders. James Cook is the start of the bang machine. Anyways, Imperial thinks that's a good pick. If you take James Cook early, you won't be disappointed. I think and I believe in his talent, and I think he's going to outdo what they're showing us this year. His ADP, he might drop. If you see him and you think people are slipping on him, go get him, because the boy is going to give you points and he's going to do work. He's worth every penny. And that's the difference between mid-level and elite. He has moved into elite area. It's just what it is. And not only that, because his circumstances make him elite. His circumstances make James Cook elite. My thing is, if he's a younger brother, why is he the third and Dalvin Cook didn't get the last name? I don't know how that works. Whatever. I don't get it. Whatever. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about number 5. Number 5 up here is the fastest man, or says he's the fastest man in football, and he smoked all the other running backs. That's what he said. I mean, he's supposed to say that, but his name is Devon Achane. When you got him on your team, you're the happiest person in the world. When you're going against him, you hate him because you wish you had him. You wish you had him. Miami sucked last year. Miami gonna suck this year. And guess what? A-Chain's getting points. And guess what matters in fantasy? Only points matter. You could believe that. Take it to the bank when it comes to Devon Achane. Say his name right. He could be the number 1 fantasy running back at the end of the year. He really could. Last year, Devon Achane had 238 carries for 1,350 with a 5.7 yard average per carry. That's crazy. We talking Jamal Charles here, people. If you don't know Jamal Charles, look him up. Look up his yards per carry. Go look at his YPC. This boy did 5.7 last year with 8 touchdowns. Caught 67 balls, 488 yards, and 4 touchdowns. That's 12 touchdowns total. Man, he's an official. He's a banger. Fantasy banger. Yo, listen. What is it you can say about Devon Achane other than that you can't catch him. He does everything you want. He's small, and he's still out there putting in work because you can't catch the boy. I don't care who's throwing to him. I don't care whoever. I don't care he has no receivers. I don't care that Waddle's gone. I don't care that Hill's gone. I don't care who's out there. Just give him the ball because they can't catch him. They can't catch the boy. That's why he's a banger. That's why he puts in work. You know what I mean? It's crazy. This year they got him projected to put up another 1,300 on the ground and another 500 in the air. It's the same year as last year. That's RB1 numbers. And they got him on here as number 5. That's crazy. The next 4 guys got to be crazy if the guy below them averages 5.7 yards per carry and catches 67 balls in PPR leagues. 67. That's better than 50, 60%, 70% of the receivers in the league. Starters. You got starters who ain't catching 67 balls. This is facts, people. Devon Achane sitting at number 5 is a steal. And I don't care who's on their team. That's how fast he is. See, James Cook, the guy before him, we were talking about how James Cook has the perfect circumstances and everything works out in his favor. Great line, great quarterback, just an overall talent that allows him to thrive. When it comes to Devon Achane, he's one of those guys who his talent thrives when he gets the ball in his hands and starts running. Regardless of system, regardless. And I think Willis will be a step up in quarterback from Tua, because Tua is out of it. He's out of it. You know, those concussions, everything that happened to him, he's out of it. Let's just get Tua off of our. I'm not even with it on Tua. Let's just move on. But Malik Willis, this is the second. Yeah, this is the second quarterback he's going to be with. I think he's going to give him the offense is him. Jalen Waddle was gone. I don't even know who they're throwing the ball to. Achane. It doesn't matter what. Just throw it to Achane. Now, we got to talk because everybody has negatives. You know, nobody's perfect. No player has ever been perfect. There's never been a perfect player at any position in sports ever. Something's always wrong. Everybody has their something. Shaq couldn't shoot free throw. You know what I mean? This is how it is. You know, everybody has something. You know, no matter how dominant. You know, and Achane, his something is he's small. He's small. Can one hit, 1 week, take him out of the game on multiple weeks because of his size? Yes. Yes, that is his downside. People look at him and say, how can he be my bell cow when he's 5 foot nothing and he weighs 100 nothing? You know? But only points matter. He generates points, and that's what you want. You want points. I want points. If you don't get points and he's putting them up, you're going to the playoffs with him on your team. If he's healthy and he's your RB1, you're going to the playoffs. He's going to score a lot of points. He's one of the best running backs in the league. Bar none, staked his claim at 1,800 yards from scrimmage last year. There's nothing more to talk about. Come on, man. All right, now let's move on up. It just gets better from here. Who's next? What are we talking about after this? You know, we're talking about a guy called Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor had a great year last year, and honestly, there's a caveat to his year, of course. He is at number 4 off talent and consistency. He's put up both. The guy last year, 323 carries, 1,500 yards on the ground, 4.9 a carry, 18 touchdowns. Now that's separation. 46 receptions, 373, and 2 TDs. That's 20 total touchdowns. It's a lot of points. There's a lot of points. Jonathan Taylor was on Indianapolis Colts last year. And last year, the Colts got off to that crazy start. It was like record setting. They were putting up numbers out of this world. And he was the catalyst for all of that. He was doing 30-point games, like they were nothing. He was doing a 40-point game. He had a 57-point game. He was going bananas between week 1 and week 10. He was going bananas. That boy was a certified banger for week 10 the whole way down. Certified. 1 through 10, he was the best running back in fantasy. He was the most consistent. If he was on your team, you was doing work. Now, his quarterback got hurt. Jonathan Taylor's quarterback got hurt last year. And when he went out, so did the team. Everybody stunk after his quarterback went out. He became mid. Weeks 12 through 18, he was mid. He didn't crack 20 points after week 10. Now, they have him up here as the number 4 quarterback above A-Chain. Daniel Jones, I mean, we don't know what he's doing. I mean, he got injured. I'm not sure when he's coming back. Don't know if he's going to be ready. Training camp. I'm not sure. But I'm not counting on him being there. But what I do know is when he wasn't there, this guy was subpar. Subpar at number 4. That's where I hesitate. His success was contingent upon the team during the second half of last year's season. I don't want to have a running back as my RB1 that I picked this high. You know what I mean? Not have a quarterback going into the season, and I have to wait for that to happen so I can get the guy that I want, who I think he can be. Or do I take him thinking, this is training camp. We're going to take him now. He's going to be ready with whatever team they put out there. I mean, there's big ifs for me. For me personally, when it comes to Jonathan Taylor, right now, I really believe that he's contingent off the quarterback play in that team. The offense has to thrive. When it did, he was the catalyst. When his quarterback went out, he stunk. I mean, week after week, he was mid. He was pretty mid. I mean, not a lack of trying. They was getting him the ball. He had 20-plus carries 4 or 5 times between those times. I mean, nothing small here, people. He didn't break 100 yards. After week 12, he was mid all the way. 10, he was mid all the way through. But, the talent is there. He comes year after year. If they have a good team, they have a quarterback, he's going to thrive in that kind of world. Without his quarterback, he doesn't thrive. It's just what it is. That's what the numbers show. This is how we need to play it. You really got to look at these guys for what they do and not what you think they're going to do. You got to read the leaves. They're there. What happened last year when his quarterback went out? That's real. The numbers are right there. It shows you. Daniel Jones had a big part in the good fantasy play of Jonathan Taylor. Anyway, I'm not going to have him at number 4. I think he belongs somewhere around that Amarion Hampton, Saquon Barkley list only till this team is figured out. I want to see what they're running, how they're doing. We'll get a look at them. What's quarterback play going to look like? All right. Next guy was RB1 last year. Who would have thunk it? Him and Saquon go back and forth. I have a bad year, I'm hurt. Then you have a bad year, I'm hurt. Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley are like yin and yang. The year he's hurt or has a bad year or a mid-year, he has a great year. The year he's hurt, vice versa. He was RB1 in my league last year, Christian McCaffrey was. He hasn't even got to practice. The offense is him. He knows how to run the ball, catch the ball. And what he did last year, it was sneaky. It was so sneaky because he didn't put up a lot of yards on the ground. I don't even think he had a crazy yard per carry. All right, so last year he did, it was decent. 311 attempts for 1202 on the ground, only averaging 3.9 a carry. See, that's a lot of carries. He gets the ball. They believe in him to get the ball because that's how they win. If he gets the ball, he had 102 receptions last year. 102 receptions. That has to be ranked with the top wide receivers in the game. 102 receptions? What are we talking about? That's crazy. These are crazy fantasy numbers. You get a point per reception. This guy put up 102, plus he's got 1,200 yards on the ground. 7 touches in the air, 10 touchdowns on the ground. Wow. Wow. He did that last year, sneakily last year. The crazy part is, I don't know how many people actually won a championship with him doing that last year. He might be number one next year. I mean, there's nothing but time that's against him. And his caveat is he is injury prone every other year. But I do think they do a good job of not making him work through the season and making his body recover during the week and not letting them do strenuous practicing and those things that get you injured because he knows the game so well and he's like a savant out there, especially catching the ball. So he can really propel your team as a great RB1. I mean, he's coming in. He's going to be healthy. He went last year around number 5 pick. You know what I mean? It was this year. I think he goes around that number 5 to 6 to 7 pick, and you're gonna be happy with the results, especially if you get him mid-round to pair with somebody else mid-round on the way back. Oh man, you see, there's not a lot of you can't say about these guys in the top 3, 4. It's so much skill going on here. You know, even Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's portrayed a bunch of skill, but when a team like this 49ers has a player like Christian McCaffrey with a coach like they have Mike Shanahan with was it Kyle? Yeah, Shanahan with the thoughts and the he's been around the game so long. He has a crazy imagination and play with his schemes, and he basically runs that offense through Christian McCaffrey. And I don't see that changing this year. He's hard to stop, people. 100 catches in fantasy is everything. And to get that as a running back is insane, along with 1,200 yards on the ground. This dude had almost 1,000 yards in there. He had 924 yards in the air. He was almost 1,000-yard receiver, too. He's 2 people. 2 people. He was 2 people last year on the offense. He was your number 1 running back, and he probably was your number 1 receiver. If I had to go look at it, he's got to be close. I know he caught more balls than everybody else on that team. Kittle didn't never catch 100 balls. Have you ever seen Kittle? No way. Ayuk wasn't there. The other guys were in and out. Nah, man, this dude is too valuable. If he plays, you know what I mean? He's RB1. If he plays. How? He's not going to be RB1. He's going to get 20 points a game. It's just what it is. The game comes easy for him. People like him, the game comes very easy for. So it's nothing. He's gonna thrive. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna thrive. Christian McCaffrey is the best bet, and he's a certified banger. I bank on it. Take him all day, every day, and twice on Sundays, especially if you get the 5th, the 6th pick, and he's sitting there. Grab him. Grab him. It is what it is. Grab him. 5th and 6th pick, you got probably the best player with the most points. Grab him. Everybody above him, they're looking to have an all-time year, 2,000-yard back type year. Everybody above him. That's what they're expecting. But you know what? Fantasy never goes as you expect because this lineup wasn't like this last year. You know what I mean? These guys got it wrong. They're here because of what they did last year. You see what I mean? Either way, I digress. Let's talk about number 2 here on the list. And that would be your boy, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs. Let me tell you how Jahmyr Gibbs moved up to number 2. He's got a backfield all to himself for the first time, and he was already a banger. He was already a banger, and now he has a backfield to himself for the first time. Jahmyr Gibbs is the fastest man on earth in his mind, him and Devon Achane. But let me tell you the difference between him and Devon Achane. These are 2 differences. Now, Detroit Lions are an incredible team when it comes to offensive scheme and getting him. This guy has the backfield all to himself for the first time. There's no more Sonic and Knuckles. Knuckles has left the building, people. Good riddance. I'm so happy this guy is gone. Yo, man, give me a clap. Yo, thank you, Lord. You need to leave because we need to see what this boy can do. We all need to see what this boy can do. We all need to be witness to see what this boy can do as a real bell cow. What kind of season are we looking at, people? And this is, I'm so excited to see him as, a lead back by himself. He was already the man there. He was already valuable with, splitting carries. But last year, he had 243 carries with 1,200 yards on the ground, 77 receptions with 616 yards in the air, 5 TDs, 13 TDs on the ground. So he had 18 TDs, and he put up a heck of a year. He put up a heck of a year last year. And he gets out of the game every other series. You understand what I'm saying? He gets out of the game every other series. And I want to talk about this because I think last year that was a detriment to what he really is. And I think sometimes this gets lost because he gets off the field and he had to defer to the other running backs. Sometimes players need to work themselves into the game. Sometimes, if it doesn't work out for you in quarter one, right? Quarter two, you start to get better, Quarter three, you start to get better. If you're a bell cow, eventually the game starts to come to you and you start to be great because you keep getting that consistency. You feel your way into the game. All of a sudden you look up, you had a 100-yard game because you're a bell cow. Now, with him, it's a little different. It's a little different with him. And last year, I'm going to tell you why, is just a little different. Because the boy didn't get that chance. He didn't get that chance to show you what he was made of to be the best running back in the league. You need to be a bell cow. If you want to be the top fantasy scorer in the league, you need to be the man. It's just what it is. And he didn't get that chance to show he could be the best player until now. Until this season, he just didn't. And next year, it's his backfield and it's his world. It's his backfield and it's his world. He doesn't have to share anymore. He can use that speed. He can get himself into games where, he don't have to worry about his counterpart getting the ball and going crazy. You know what I mean? And then he's got to figure out how to get back into the game and struggle with that every other game because he put up some duds. Let's be real, people. He had a couple duds. And I don't think these duds are because he couldn't. I don't think they're just because, If I had to explain it, it's because he couldn't get into the game to get a feel of the game because he split the carries. That's what I think. I think that's real. And I believe that it's a part of fantasy football. If you don't have that ability to just get into the game, get those consistent carries, just blocking and hitting. If you're coming in and out of the game every other series, it's going to affect the way you're playing if you're having a bad game. Now, some games he came straight out the gate and boom, we got that dude. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might need to warm up and get into it. And if you get in and out of the game, sometimes that can stop you and it's stop you from moving the way you want to move. It's just true. But I think he'll be all right, though. I think we might see a 2,000-yard season out of him and he could catch 100 balls by himself. By himself. That's a big deal. We've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on this. I hate when a running back splits carries. It's the worst feeling in the world, especially when you got one of them dudes. And when you got one of them dudes, you feel like, hey, he should be in the game. David Montgomery is a detriment to having Jahmyr Gibbs last year, but we don't have that issue no more. David Montgomery is gone. He went to Houston. Thank the Lord. Now we get to see Jahmyr Gibbs in all of his glory. Be the guy we think he is because of the talent that he has. Because of the speed that he possesses. So now he's out there every time. He's a 3-down back. Let him be. Give him a season to be great. Give him a season to do 2,000 yards. He has that talent. Let's see what happens. All right, that's number 2. And you know what I'm saying, we really can't say much more about Jahmyr Gibbs that you guys already don't know. He's going to put in that work. He's going to do his damn thing. He's going to be the man. Now, I have a hard time believing that Jahmyr Gibbs is not number 1, but this next guy they got is number 1, and it's for good reason. He's the ultimate third down back. He's on the field 3 down. You want him on the field they took him out the field more than they should have last year, and he still did an incredible job being the guy that he is. You can't deny him being number 1 this year, and some people do. Bijan Robinson is an incredible talent. Last year, had 287 carries for 1,478 yards with a 5.1 yard per carry attempt. Come on, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Seven TDs on the ground. We can do more this year, I believe it. 79 receptions for 820, 4 TDs. And you looking at me, Imperial, you've read better stats already. Did HA not do better than that? Did Christian McCaffrey not do better than that? Yes. Yes, they did. Jahmyr Gibbs sounds like it's better than this. But this is the thing about fantasy and these projections. It's about progression. This guy has shown progression each year, and his talent has shown progression each year. Bijan is electric on the field. He has everything you want. He's what the offense is going to be centered around. I'm not sure about the coaching. I'm not sure what they're going to do at quarterback. Honestly, I don't have faith in anybody over there right now in quarterback. I don't know if Phoenix is ready. I don't know exactly I don't like Stefanski. I seen what he did with the Browns last year. I'm not sure that his offense is going to come in here and be great. I seen how they ran the ball last year with Quinton Judkins. I wasn't a fan after, everybody figured out how they were running the ball. And it's just, if he doesn't have great quarterback play, will that hamper him? It might. But he is the kind of talent who's going to put up banger numbers because that's what he is, dog. He's a serious banger. I think he ends up number 1, 2, or 3. Most likely 2 or 3. I'm going to just go on a limb and say that Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to end up number 1 in fantasy football overall. But honestly, Bijan Robinson is a great pick. They have weapons around him, but it's the quarterback play, which I think is here. But at the same time, he's going to get his touches regardless because of his talent. He's going to be one of the top players in fantasy. And if you got him, you shouldn't be upset. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Yeah, but he's definitely going to do it. Let's look at this list one more time and go through it and talk about it one more time before, I get out of here. But, I had a good night here with you guys talking about these running backs. And this is the best position in fantasy football because of the value that they bring. You could play 2 of them. May up to 3 in some leagues, depend on most leagues. They catch the ball and run the ball. So PPR, the elite ones do things that others can't. And looking at Chase Brown at number 10, Saquon number 9, Omarion Hampton at number 8, Ashton Denty at number 7, James Cook at number 6, Devon Achane number 5, Jonathan Taylor at number 4, Christian McCaffrey number 3, 2, Jahmyr Gibbs, and 1, Bijan Robinson. All right, these are your guys that you're going to look out for in the top 10. These are early picks. These are guys I'm giving you a little bit of insight that the Imperial has that you can take for your own use and do what you will. You may not agree with me. I may not agree with you, but this is how I feel, and I'm ready for this fantasy season to start. But let's get it going. I believe in this thing. Thank you guys for coming out. Remember, like, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed tonight because I enjoyed doing it for you guys. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day. Peace.